Hello, viewers. Hopefully, I am visible as well as audible. And we are back live today. And again, like all live streams on YouTube, the primary objective is to talk about what I have been up to on YouTube in the previous 1 week. So, in the most recent live stream on YouTube, I talked about videos 237 to videos 246, and ever since I've managed to upload seven more long form videos 247 to video number 253. So we'll talk about them one by one. Video 247 talked about Satyajit Ray's famous movie Mohanagar, and this was the movie review. And like all Satyajit Ray movies that I've seen, I have always felt that Satyajit Ray movies have a universal theme, and the universal theme that is tackled, that is addressed in Mohanagar, is the struggle that people face at the workplace. And it's not just a struggle to get a job, which is also a struggle and something which we can all relate to. Getting a job is a struggle, but then after getting a job, there is the possibility of people committing fraud at the workplace, people committing all sorts of injustice. And how do you react to that? How do you react to acts of injustice while you're working? And what does what does your working, what impact does your working have on your family? All of these factors have been addressed in Mohanagar, and this is from the 60s. And I don't know if the idea of women working was mainstream in the 60s, but it certainly was contested in the movie that is Mohanagar. And it's a very enduring movie. It stands the test of time, and Satyajit Ray movies have this unique ability to not just be relevant beyond a certain time period, but it is relevant all across the world. So it's an amazing movie which I strongly recommend. It's available on YouTube with English subtitles, so do feel free to check it out. Video number 248. In video number 248, I talked about elections in two democratic countries. Of course, there is a dispute regarding the word democracy. Some people, uh, there are technicalities regarding whether one is a constitutional republic or a democracy, all of that is there. But for the layman who does not understand political science that much, these two countries are democracies and they certainly have democratic elections. So I compared the kind of elections that are held in two very important democracies in the world, and I wanted to make it in Hindi, but some people suggested that I should stick to English, so that's what I did. I compared elections in one country with elections in a different country. In video number 249, I talked about Circle of Willis, which is, of course, a very important collateral blood circulation of arterial blood in the brain. That is how oxygenated blood is sent to the brain, and how constant supply of oxygenated blood to the brain is maintained. So circle of Willis, of course, is a very important anatomical structure. It is frequently asked in medical college exams, and I also talked about the history of circle of Willis, who Thomas Willis is, what his contribution has been to the world of medicine. In video number 250, I talked about a very famous book by a very famous author, Fyodor Dostoevsky's The Devils, which essentially talks about what happens in a village or a small town in Russia when a group of individuals get convinced that communism is the right way forward. And of course, with the benefit of history, we know that communism started in Russia in full force. The communist government, a mighty communist government, was formed in Russia after the Bolshevik Revolution. But this book was published in 1872. The Bolshevik Revolution happened in 1917. So in 1872, Dostoevsky was able to predict that communism will take root in Russia, and if it does, then it will not be a very good idea. And with the benefit of history, we can really marvel at how prescient his predictions were. In video number 251, I tried to answer a question that I've been asked frequently. Now, the majority of my videos on this channel talk about MRCS, which is the Membership of Royal College of Surgeons exam. Now, this is an exam which you can take if you have a primary medical qualification, which is MBBS. You don't require a postgraduate qualification to appear in this exam, and MRCS is an acceptable postgraduate qualification for the United Kingdom and the Republic of Ireland. However, MRCS itself is not an acceptable postgraduate qualification to work as a surgeon in India. So, the question that I have been asked frequently is if one appears in MRCS after MBBS in India and then pursues training to become a surgeon in the UK, can that person then choose to, at the end of the training period, can that person choose to return to India and then work as a doctor, or will they have to undergo postgraduate training in India all over again? So easy answer is no, they don't have to undergo training in India all over again, because as per the National Medical Commission, if somebody has obtained higher training or specialist training in one of the following five English speaking countries, that is United Kingdom, United States of America, Canada, Australia, or New Zealand, then they don't require fresh postgraduate training in India to work as a surgeon in India. And not just a surgeon, any specialist in India. And not just work as a specialist in India, they can also teach as a specialist in India in medical colleges in India. All of that has been codified in the recent Gazette notification. I believe it is dated 31st March 2023. So if you have any doubts regarding whether your postgraduate training in the UK will allow you to work as a specialist in India, please be please relax. You can still work as a doctor in India. There is no restrictions in that regard. But of course, you have to complete your FRCS. You can't just have MRCS and start working as a surgeon in India. You have to complete your training, get your FRCS, that is the exit exam at the end of your training, and then you have to register yourself with the UK authorities on the specialist register in the United Kingdom, and then you can work as a specialist in India. And you can also teach in a medical college in India. So that was video number 251. Video number 252, I talked about another Satyajit Ray movie, Devi. And this is a phenomenal movie. It tackles one of the most sensitive, if not controversial, topics that Satyajit Ray has ever decided to tackle. In a movie, it talks about superstition, it talks about what happens when ignorant beliefs are allowed to go unchecked, and the damage it can cause both to people around us as well as to ourselves. So it's a very, very engaging watch. It is definitely not a very light-hearted movie, but it is definitely worth watching. And in video number 253, I talked about a review of Devi posted by a couple of Americans. This was posted on a YouTube channel 2 years back. So I decided to post a reaction video to that. And I was very happy to see that Satyajit Ray movies, as I truly believe, transcend geographical barriers. So to watch two Americans react to a Satyajit Ray movie, and they reacted to it in 2021. The movie released in 1960. So even 60 years later, two Americans were able to appreciate a Satyajit Ray movie, which basically reinforces my belief that his movies have universal appeal, both in terms of geography as well as in terms of time. They are they are appealing 60 years later as well, and they're appealing in countries far away from India as well. So that was my YouTube live stream for today, and I hope to see you next week again. Thank you so much. Bye bye.